Hello and welcome to Keeping Up with the Kerslake, episode 5. Today we're joined with new construction sport member Tara Crossan of Powerday. Welcome, Tara.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Ready for this
podcast? My first podcast experience.
It's the first one?
Yes.
So I'll plenty of time listening to Diary of a CEO, you said, didn't
yeah,
it? So
yeah. I'm a big fan of listening to podcasts, but never had the opportunity to.
But will you listen back to your own one?
I was actually thinking this earlier, and I was thinking I absolutely hate hearing myself on video. Yeah. I think everybody does.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I'll let you know how it is.
Nice.
It's so a shame. How is everything at Powerday?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, really good. Business is great. Our foundation is doing really well. We're kind of entering into a lot of new exciting projects with the foundation, which is really good. We're 1 year into our 5-year strategy, which we set out in 2021.
Brilliant.
So far
off the back of COVID then, was it?
So our first one, so the foundation has been around now for 6 years. Mm-hmm. And so we did our first one for the first 5 years, and then obviously in the next 5 years, so last year we set out the next 5-year objectives and goals, and so we're powering through.
Yes, there you go. Yeah. Pardon the pun.
Powerday.
Going on that, so Powerday, because I think we've actually discussed before. It's quite good. Powerday, the name, because it's a family-run business. Your father, wasn't it? Is it? Was the main man behind starting it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so Powerday was, because I think the name and look at branding today fits perfectly. Not saying actually here, but it does fit perfectly with today's branding and everything about it. It's quite a good name, I think. But how did Powerday come about then?
It's a funny story. I actually get asked this quite a lot, and it was just on Company's House. Was it? When my dad was setting up, he didn't want to use his surname. I know a lot of typically Irish businesses, they go for the surname, but he wanted to go for something a bit different. And I think when he went to Company's House, he was given a list of 20 names, and he just chose Powerday. Really? And I think obviously back then, I don't think he really realised or even knew kind of how that relevance would kind of grow with the company as the years went on. So I think that, it's kind of funny how things happen, and it's, the relevance of it is growing more and more. Yeah,
definitely. And I'm very much aware of what you do, but to the listeners, what is Powerday then?
So Powerday is a waste management recycling company based in London. So we have 6 sites across London, and we also offer a national service to our customers, which we outsource to different companies. But our main focus is within the capital. We deal with construction, demolition waste, 100% diversion from landfill. We were one of the first waste companies to implement that. And the way we do that is all kind of materials that can't be reused and recycled goes to fuel, so RDF, which is a good solution as an alternative to landfill. Mm-hmm. But obviously for us, our main focus is always trying to, figure out ways to have more reuse in waste. And I mean, the developments that you're seeing now are like unbelievable in people really taking an interest and focus in developing these materials. So that's really exciting to see.
So you're effectively almost always staying ahead of the curve then, isn't it?
I guess you've always got to be staying one step ahead. There's always someone else out there that will be offering another service. Because
yours is predominantly construction waste management then, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I've had this before, and I was to say away from here with Sophie actually, the team was saying that you guys, and I've seen this more actually speaking to yourselves and a few other waste management companies as well in the past, how much stick you guys get, and you're actually just because at the end of the line of waste, I suppose. But you get so much criticism, and I remember Sophie saying about food waste and smells that come out of places, and they just say it must be them because there's a waste management company over there. And you're like, we don't deal with waste
in the area. You do get blamed for a lot. We have people. I mean, we could get into this, but a complaint about a lorry, and it's not even one of our lorries or coming into our site, but because it's in the area, people just assume. But I mean, it's you just kind of have to roll with the punches, and we really try and get involved in our community. We do community collections of waste, and we try and help in the community as much as we can, and that's one of our biggest focuses. So. We don't have too many haters around.
No, because I think effectively the amount of people I know and everyone, I think the first thing that you are very much recognised for obviously is what you do put back into the community and the industry, I suppose, aren't you? But so how is it now? you, I suppose, as a waste management company, have to adapt to all the different companies and their different criteria, then, don't you? So I suppose different tier one contractors want.
Yeah.
Do you have to show different paperwork as such to show how you do it to every single one?
Yeah, you have to have all of the accreditations, everything. You know, when you're doing tenders and whatnot, you have to meet all the criterias.
Yeah.
One thing that, you know, we've really focused on the past few years is in sustainability. I know that's a major buzzword, but obviously in the industry that we're in, that is everything that we do. And with construction companies, traditionally, sustainability hasn't been considered in the design process when buildings are being built. And so we see a lot of buildings being demolitioned now that were built hundreds of years ago, where that thought hasn't been put in. And so you do get a lot of material, which is like, well, what do we do with this? And the easy answer for that back in the day was landfill. But obviously now you're having to think of different ways and, you know, reuse and even RDF and stuff like that. But what is really amazing, and you definitely see it now, is that being considered in the design phase and actually people taking a conscious thought into, okay, well, what will happen to this in years to come? And that is going to change everything, really. And in terms of, you know, reaching net zero and everything like that, it's something that people really
and a lot of companies, I suppose, can in a way say they're doing these things and easily show it, but and easily just in a way mirror over the fact that we're doing it, say it, but you guys obviously have to do it because you can't hide it, can you?
There's a huge thing around greenwashing, which is, you know, people saying and setting these targets and this and that without necessarily having the science base to back it up or having really considered and thought about how you're going to approach that. And I guess in time will tell. People have set all these promises for 2030, 2040. For the waste industry, 2040 is the net zero target, whereas London is 2030. Really, but we haven't done that yet because we didn't want to overpromise something. So we have our sustainability and wellness manifesto, which we've just done our second one. And so within that, we list all of our objectives and goals for the next year. And so our aim for the end of this year is to set a net zero target. And kind of educate ourselves on what that means for our company, how we can approach that, if it's achievable. Because in a lot of cases, you know, electric vehicles for skip lorries and like big machinery, the infrastructure is just not really there yet. But I think within the next 10 years,
speeding up,
there will be a massive focus on it for sure.
Yeah, when you think where we was 10 years ago, I remember just thinking even 5 years ago, there's no chance. Electric cars, it just won't take off.
But I mean, I have an electric car and it's great driving around London. But, you know, I went to the Peak District this weekend and I was like, I'm not risking that.
Because you had to run it at Birmingham, didn't you?
I drove up to Birmingham a couple of months ago and had a bit of a nightmare with charging points. And, you know, you do have to plan it if you're doing long distance. But driving within London is perfect, you know, going to the congestion zone.
Definitely.
So, we changed all of our customer fleet, all of our kind of employee fleet to electric. But it's changing the kind of bigger.
Getting that, So how many lorries have you got? Quite a drivers as such, isn't it? There's a good few.
Yeah, we've got 75
drivers as vehicles out there all day, every day.
Yeah, within the six sites. It's busy. I mean,
Do those drivers go from one site to another? So they potentially pick up one and drop off at another? This might be a silly question. But
you mean as in, do they do more than one job before returning?
Yeah, so will they be, say they're at one depot, do they go into other depots as well?
Yeah. I mean, well, they also, they do go to clients, so they'll go to like the construction companies, whatever, but then we have 6 sites, 3 are just transfer stations, so that's where the waste is taken.
Gotcha.
And then some of it will be sorted there, and then the rest of it is taken back to either Enfield or Willesden, which are our big recycling facilities. We've also got one in Canning Town, but we're kind of redeveloping that because that's a new site. And that's to kind of lessen our miles on the road. So having the transfer stations just means that you can then take the waste from one site to the other, and it just like lessens the journeys. So
Oh, good stuff. All fun and games. How is it managing? Well, I suppose it's not so much yourselves, but drivers. I find it very interesting coming down to see you guys. It's such a different world, but the drivers and what we're doing, and obviously working with construction sport now. Thanks, you guys have come aboard. What we're doing with, he's actually getting time to spend with these guys, these drivers, because they're out all day. Because obviously there's systems the way they're paid and their targets are, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
definitely. Yeah,
that is interesting characters you come across, isn't it? But how they're not just a driver, are they? This is the thing. They're so well managed in themselves that they know. I'm trying, how do I put it? But you think he's just a driver, but they've got all their systems in place. And one of the boys said they will always ring up and make sure the person on the gate, they'll know them direct, so they can speak to them before they can get in and build relationships with
definitely.
all your clients. So
For sure. I mean, they're
front line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They are the front-facing people that are going to these sites every day. And, you know, a lot of our clients we've worked with for years.
Yeah.
And so, they build up relationships with these people on site.
Yeah.
And as you say, you know, their first jobs will be at 6 a.m, and then finish at 4 or whatever. And they are just out all day pretty much doing jobs. And they'll come back to drop waste off and then go back out.
Yeah.
But
so
that's
we've also got our wellbeing based platform we're working with you guys with as part of the pie. That was brilliant, thank you. And that's the one thing we're finding is that this is the good entertaining challenges, you know, we can get this to these people. So that's it's Spencer, isn't it?
Spencer,
Put
his
name right at the time.
Yeah.
So he's actually said that, he's put his hand up, he said, I'll take that on my shoulders. So we'll go into him. But so Powerday, that's the waste management side, but we obviously know there's a hell of a lot of influence in the sporting world. What is it, do you think, what's brought sport to Powerday, or what's the interest from there, do you think, over the to your father?
Well, I think anybody who knows my dad knows how mad he is about every single sport.
Is it?
Yeah, he loves it. And I think for him, growing up, he never really took to school. You know, he doesn't really have much of an education. He left school at 15. He never really found that to be something that helped him, whereas sport was something that really he took to, that taught him discipline, hard work, you know, teamwork, dedication, all of that. So he was massively into sport his whole life. And one of the sports that he really kind of saw that was really helping kids was boxing. And so one of the first things, so the foundation's been around for 6 years. We're the main sponsor for London Boxing. And we help get funding for boxing clubs and, you know, local community projects, sporting groups.
Because there are a fair few boxing clubs in London as well, isn't it? I didn't realise
110.
110?
Yeah, 110.
I think unbelievable, isn't it? You don't realise how many there are.
Yeah, there's so many.
Yeah.
In every corner, there is a boxing club.
Brilliant.
So we've just done a map with a pin of every boxing club in London.
So still going strong then, because I remember, my family are all from the East End of London as such, and boxing was the thing. So it's good to see that's carried on, isn't it? Yeah,
it's a great sport to teach discipline to young kids.
You've had a go yourself as well.
I've had a go. I enjoy boxing. It's a great form of. I like the fitness side of it.
Yes.
I don't think I'd ever get in the ring.
Yeah.
But, you know, never say never.
Yeah.
And so over the past 6 years, we've funded £13 million of investment, internal and external, into boxing clubs, whether that be refurbishments, you know, boxing rings, gloves, flooring, bathrooms, just kind of helping. A lot of them are really old school.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't even have female changing rooms. So one of our big objectives for the next 5 years is getting female participation in boxing.
Definitely.
So, you know, whenever we do a refurb in a boxing gym, we'll always put in a female facility.
Brilliant.
It's just simple things like that, just to kind of make women feel more comfortable.
Because I think professional sport is highlighting that now, isn't the world, especially the women's football going on at the moment. But there's so much, and it's good entertainment as well, isn't it? It's more entertainment for everyone.
I love it. It's very good.
So that's Powerday Hooks, isn't it? It's called.
So Powerday Hooks is Powerday's boxing gym in Ealing.
Gotcha. Yep.
And I mean, we've helped with that. We've helped that gym, you know, through they were kind of got to the stage where they weren't sure if they were going to be able to stay open. And we have Paul King, who he's an expert at getting grants and funding, and in that space, he's amazing. And he kind of runs the foundation. And what he's able to do for some gyms is get them a peppercorn rent, which is £1 a year. For 999 years.
Oh, really?
So essentially, it's £1,000 for 1,000 years lease in the buildings that they're in.
Okay.
So he's done that for a few, like Powerday Hooks, and Repton is another one. That's quite a well-known gym in East London. I was down there the other day, and the history in there. As soon as you walk in, you just feel it. Like on all the walls, it's covered with all the history, and they've got a dirt wall which the walls haven't been cleaned for 28 years.
Really, yeah.
And what
I've
they
seen
do-
this as a video
yeah,
of this, isn't
yeah,
it?
Yeah,
I've
so we
seen-
did.
yeah.
So we helped refurbish their roof and their flooring and everything because the whole ceiling was falling apart.
Really, yeah.
So yeah, we did a video kind of showing the refurbishment,
The
and so people sign their names in the wall. And it's a really nice idea. And when I went down the other week, they're like, "Do you want to do it?" And I was like, "Okay." I'm like, "How do we do this?" They're like, "You just got to lick your finger and write your name."
Leave it before, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, "Okay." But no, it's great. And you go down, and when I went down there last week, you had the St. Lucian Commonwealth team training down there
Really,
for the Commonwealth Games next month. So yeah, it just you can just feel the sense of togetherness in a boxing gym.
Yeah.
And the coaches, it's all voluntary.
The father figures to a lot of those people as well, aren't they?
And the time that they put into these kids, and for a lot of these kids, a lot of the boxing gyms are in very marginalised areas in London.
Yeah.
A lot of these kids, they don't have the opportunity or belief that they have an opportunity. And so it's kind of helping them not only in the sport, but further than that, and being able to bridge the gap in opportunity.
Yeah.
We went to meet with one gym recently, and they helped their members into employment. And for them, their only way to do that is to go to what's it called? The careers
job centre.
Job centre, yeah. And obviously, when you go to a job centre, there's such a big gap between you and the company that it's such a hard process, and they don't make it easy.
No.
So one of the things that we're trying to do now is put on kind of career fairs with our clients, supply chain people that we know.
So it's literally just you
to offer jobs into the boxing gyms
the worker,
and give these
the company,
kids
and you in the middle just
give
literally
these kids an
facilitate.
opportunity, and it's like a direct link. Whether that be an apprenticeship or further than that, whichever level. Just to kind of get people into employment and give them the confidence and encouragement that they can do that, and there are the opportunities out there, and if they're willing to work hard enough, as hard as they do in the gyms, then
and they
they'll
say
have
that
a
teaching the hard work, doesn't it?
opportunity.
Boxing, So moving on from boxing, then rugby. There's a rugby influence in Powerday somewhere.
So Powerday got involved with London Irish 2010.
Okay.
They sponsored the academy. And have done so throughout. And, the London Irish Academy has had a great year. I mean, it's a really, really good academy within the Premiership. And then, we've been their main shirt sponsor. And then, I guess 7 years ago now, Powerday bought London Irish.
Brilliant.
And so, big involvement in rugby.
And effectively brought them back into London as well.
Yeah, so that was when it was back in Reading, I used to politely decline going to those games. But it was a shame for them because you'd go to Reading, it's such a big stadium, you'd maybe have 3,000 fans, and it just would be soulless.
It's a lot of people, but it
gets lost in the big stadium.
Yeah.
And so when it moved to Brentford, it was just a complete game changer for them. Not only is it more accessible for people in London,
whole Irish community in London as well.
But it's such a good stadium. There's such a good atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it's just a good day out, and it's been great for them.
Yeah, superb. That's cool because I went there the same. I did go to the Majetis at the Reading Stadium years ago. I think it was Leicester, London Irish vs Wasps. I think, and it felt the same. Yeah, I thought it's just a little bit empty, but so now it's back in. Obviously, and the first year back, wasn't it, last year?
First year with fans.
First year with fans.
Yeah, so during COVID, they were back there, but obviously
best year on record, is it?
Yeah.
One of them, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, at the St. Patrick's Day game, I think we had just under 16,000 people.
Wow.
Which is, the most I think they've ever had.
They've made European rugby as well, I think,
this
year,
so next year they'll be in the European Cup, which is great.
Yeah.
So, next year will be an exciting year for them.
But the big thing with them, I suppose, is the next May the 30th next year, we might be playing at Hazelwood. Construction sport. I spoke to the team. So that'd be the biggest fixture of the year.
That'd be the biggest one. Construction sport.
Yeah, we're speaking to them. Yeah, about the rugby side of it.
Yeah, they've got a great training facility in Sunbury.
That is impressive.
That's where it'll be, and I mean it will be. You're doing it's not. It's like a proper rugby. Tournament,
we're looking at rugby match. We're going to do on the main picture just at the front there. Is what we're looking at. Yeah, we spoke to Fiona and Jean. Mine's gone blank. Yeah, Jean. Gina Gray, isn't it? Yeah, the two of them spoke to them, and we'll look at that one. Yeah, so I never realised, actually, speaking to Will Paulson, we played there years ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we did. We played an academy game.
Okay.
Yeah, and we won actually. We beat London Irish. We always we beat London Irish. And we were this tiny little club. I was like, no, I need to know on that. Yeah, we played there when we were 15, 16. So 16, 17 years ago. Yeah. So then when I went back there, obviously, I didn't recognise it. Obviously, can't remember too much from back then. Anyway, been hitting the head too much. But no, brilliant stuff. So now, so what's in the pipeline for Powerday then? This manifesto is up and running, so we're moving with them.
Yeah.
And if anything on the horizon, working with construction sport. That is one for you. How's construction sport been for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's been good. We've rolled it out now. We've set up an incentive to get people on, do the mandatory courses, and you'll get put into a raffle to win a voucher kind of thing, just to incentivize people. Because I think it's one of, as we discussed before implementing it, getting people on board is the hardest part.
Definitely.
Once people are on board and they see the benefits, that's when, that's the easy part.
Yeah.
And we see the benefit. I mean, even I remember when I first met you and you told me this idea, and it wasn't even a real thing, but I believed in what you were trying to do here.
Yeah, thank you.
And I mean, it kind of obviously really aligns with everything that we stand for in terms of construction and sport.
Yep.
And so I think that once everyone does get on the platform and start using it and sees the benefits, it will be huge. And then also the sporting side of it, doing your sporting events.
Yes.
Getting people out into sports.
Yep. Get involved in the walks.
And
Been on the walk.
Get on the walk. Yeah, we did a walk, Haven't attempted the marathon walks with you yet.
There's one coming up.
I know, and it's more than a marathon.
Yes. You can meet at Brentford again. There you go.
Yeah, I'll meet you halfway. But no, I think that's an amazing thing. And I was speaking to someone recently, at school, you're part of team sports. And I loved that at school. I was in most of the sporting teams, really loved that side of working, in a team. And as you get older, you just don't do that. No, and you kind of you get a team at work which you work with, and that's kind of, I guess, your team from then on. And I mean, I think it's more popular in men as they get older. Yeah, might be wrong there, but like football teams and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know anyone really that, as a female, plays in a team sport, as in like any of my friends. I know they have them like local netball teams and whatever, but encouraging that in your adult life, because it really helps.
Yeah, definitely. Just I think it fades away, isn't it, now that you get to your young 20s and we're all still doing it and carrying it on, and then families if they're getting away, families come along and you take that family life, and then suddenly you can't commit to that, and you easily get to this point where you feel you're not playing at all anymore or doing anything, and then suddenly the issues start to arise then, and you don't realise but the thing people don't realise is how mentally beneficial that sport 100%. Is. It's like physically that we're all playing grassroots and none of us are fit, but we all still go and do it. It's just but mentally it can help. Yeah.
Just to clear your head and just get out there. Even going to the gym. I mean, I don't play in a team sport, but I go to the gym, and that's something that I have in my schedule every week, because for me, it just helps me. It makes me feel better. Yeah. And if I don't do that, then I notice it, like I feel it. Yep.
I did that this morning actually. I got on the train and I noticed the number of people on the train just literally looked shattered and asleep and gone. Yeah. I was wide awake, but I got in the gym at 5:30, so literally just I only went to go for a jog on the treadmill, nothing major. But I was so awake and ready for the day that you get on the train and suddenly like, why is everyone asleep? I've been up for like 3-4 hours.
It's lunchtime.
Yeah, this person shattered, and I was just thinking, and to me, you look at it,
because I used to always, before I was at Powerday, I would always go to the gym in the morning, because for me that's like my prime time. It makes you feel amazing then for the rest of the day. But now I go after work, which is fine. It works still, but you can't beat a morning gym session.
No, definitely. So Tara, we've got London Irish, we've got Powerday hooks, but we're also Powerday playing a key part in the British Down syndrome swimming.
Yes. So in November will be the first British Down Syndrome Swimming Championships, which will be held at the K2 Centre in Crawley. And this is a huge event because people with Down syndrome don't qualify, or they qualify for the Paralympics, but only as an intellectual impairment, in which they need to score a low IQ in order to qualify. But it's not really fair, because people with Down syndrome don't have low IQs, so therefore they don't qualify.
It's quite savage, isn't it?
Yeah, and so the aim of the championships is to bring awareness to the sport. Down syndrome swimming is massive. And the hopes of it is to kind of change the rules on that. And so in the future Paralympics, they will qualify.
Yep.
So that's been an amazing project to work on, and I mean, it's so inspiring watching these people. Like, it's amazing, and they love it. Their passion, like, they're amazing, and you know, it's great to kind of see already the traction that it's having in the community. People are really getting on board with this, and so I hope by the next Paralympics.
It's in Crawley, yeah?
In Crawley,
Or is it next
in November.
November, sorry.
The 19th of November.
Year. Superb.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great to see that, wouldn't it? I say everyone deserves that competition, don't they? To be able to do something and compete in a way, don't they? And why not? I think it's... thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
If we could touch base and everything. Thank you for everything. And thank you for Powerday and everyone behind the scenes for everything.
Thank you.
Right, that was episode 5 of Keeping Up with the Kerslake with Powerday's Tara Crossan. On to episode 6.